Sometimes the difference between murder and medicine is invisible to everyone except the one they refuse to see. 10 specialists watch the most dangerous man in Italy die. The maid in the corner saw what they all missed, and it wasn't an accident. Dante del Bernardo was dying in Rome's most exclusive private hospital. Monitors kept shrieking, experts kept scrambling, and death kept closing in. While Europe's finest medical minds chased diagnoses that led nowhere, they whispered he commanded a 200-year-old empire from the shadows. They whispered even the carabinieri walked carefully around his name. Yet there he lay, defenseless against an enemy wearing a white coat. Stella Moreau slipped into the suite, invisible the way she'd mastered over 7 years. Early morning shift meant fewer witnesses, fewer conversations to navigate in her Creole-accented Italian. She breathed in disinfectant, Italian leather, and something else, something chemical, something fatal. Her nursing-trained mind fired like a warning shot. She froze. The tremor in his extremities, the paradoxical drop in heart rate despite the epinephrine, the beta blocker clearly marked on his chart that everyone seemed blind to. Her throat went tight. The answer crystallized in her head, sharp and unmistakable, like broken glass catching hospital light. She knew exactly what drug interaction was killing him, but who would dare contradict 10 specialists when you're the woman who empties their trash? And worse than that, who would believe the doctors themselves were the weapon? If stories of hidden brilliance and courage against impossible odds move you, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe so you don't miss our weekly tales of invisible people refusing to stay silent. Like and share this video too, because sometimes the most powerful men in the world are saved by the ones who never should have been there at all. Stella left the suite. Her steps weighted as if she were carrying stones. Her heart hammered inside her ribs, each beat like a war drum only she could hear. She knew the truth. She'd seen what 10 of Europe's elite physicians had missed. But she didn't have the authority to speak. She was just the one who changed the sheets. Stella pushed her cleaning cart down a marble corridor, the wheels clicking against Italian tile in the pre-dawn quiet. Her reflection stretched across gleaming white walls, faint and ghost-like, just like her existence in this country. 7 years ago, she'd been someone. A second-year nursing student, top of her class at Haiti's finest medical school, a future as bright and open as the Caribbean sky. Then everything shattered in a single night of violence. Her parents, 2 of her siblings, the gangs, blood on the floors she couldn't mop away, dreams dissolved into nothing. Now she was only a shadow in a black uniform with a white apron, drifting through hallways where no one bothered to remember her name. The alarm screamed at 4:17 a.m. Stella's hand shot out in the dark, silencing it before the noise could fully drag her from sleep. Her body moved on autopilot, feet hitting cold tile, hands reaching for the black dress and white apron hanging on the back of the door. 3 jobs meant 3 different uniforms. This one she hated most. She pulled on the crisp fabric, fastened the white gloves, adjusted the cap in the mirror. The woman staring back looked like a costume, like someone playing a role in a period drama. In Haiti, I had a name, she thought. In Italy, I'm just the help. At 4:45 a.m., she sat at her laptop in the cramped kitchen, the screen's blue light harsh in the darkness. Bank transfer, 847 euros to Gabrielle Moreau, Columbia University. Rent for her brother's dorm. The number on her account dropped to 34 euros. Payday was Friday. And she'd make it. She always made it. The memory hit without warning the way it always did. 7 years ago. Port-au-Prince, The sound of her mother's laughter in their kitchen, her father reading the newspaper, her sister Marie arguing with her brothers, 14-year-old Jean-Luc and little Gabriel, barely 9 years old, over the radio station. Stella at the table, textbook spread wide, studying pharmacology for her exam the next morning. She'd been 22, top of her class. The future had felt inevitable, like sunrise. Then the men came. She blinked the images away. The blood, the screaming, Marie's hand going limp, Jean-Luc falling, Gabrielle's hand in hers as they ran, and checked her watch. 5:30 a.m., time to disappear. Hospital San Rafael stood like a white cathedral in Rome's exclusive Parioli district. Estella entered through the service entrance, nodding to the night guard who never bothered learning her name. She pushed her cart through marble hallways where oil paintings, worth more than her yearly salary, hung on walls. The VIP wing smelled different than the rest of the hospital. Less antiseptic, more money. She changed linens in room 404. A politician recovering from appendix surgery. He spoke on his phone as if she weren't there. She was furniture, wallpaper, air. Room 407. An elderly Contessa with pneumonia. Stella noticed immediately. The IV drip rate was set too high for someone her age with kidney issues. The numbers on the pump glowed wrong. She stared at it for 3 seconds, her nursing training screaming. Then she looked away, adjusted the blankets, left the room. Speaking up in Haiti got you killed. In Italy, well, it just got you fired. The result was the same. Gabriel would lose everything. Her phone buzzed at 7:23 a.m. Gabriel's name lit the screen. "Sis, they're saying I'm short $3,000 for spring semester. The scholarship doesn't cover. I'll handle it." Stella cut in, her voice steady even as her chest tightened. "Don't worry, I've got it." "How? You're all ready." "I said I'll handle it, Gabby." Silence. Then, "You shouldn't have to do this alone." "You're all I have left," she whispered. "Let me do this." She ended the call and stood in the hallway, staring at the morning light streaming through tall windows. 3,000 euros. She'd need to pick up extra shifts, maybe sell the gold necklace her mother gave her, maybe. The overhead speakers crackled to life. Codis Rosso, VIP Suite Uno, Codis Rosso. Red code, cardiac emergency, VIP Suite 1. And Stella's training kicked in before thought could catch up. She was already moving toward the suite, her cart forgotten, when she heard the voices shouting in rapid Italian, when she saw the armed men in expensive suits blocking the corridor, when she saw the name on the door, Del Bernardo. And somewhere in that room, someone was dying. Stella couldn't get close. The corridor outside VIP Suite 1 had transformed into something between a hospital and a fortress. 6 men in tailored suits stood guard, hands resting near concealed weapons, eyes tracking every nurse, every doctor, every movement with predatory focus. The air itself felt dangerous. Through the open doorway she caught glimpses. A man on the bed. Even unconscious, even dying, he radiated something that made people step carefully. Dark hair, sharp features, skin going pale as milk, a gold wedding band gleaming on his left hand. Dante del Bernardo. She'd heard the name whispered in break rooms, always with fear threaded through the syllables. Blood pressure dropping, 85/50. Heart rate 45 and falling. The monitors screamed. Doctors swarmed. Stella counted white coats. 10. And she recognized faces from medical journals. The cardiologist from Geneva who'd written the textbook she'd studied. The immunologist from Munich who'd revolutionized allergy treatment. London's finest emergency physician. Europe's elite, all gathered in one room, all failing. Bee sting, someone said. Severe anaphylaxis. We've given epinephrine, antihistamines, steroids. Nothing's working. A man in his early 40s commanded the room like a general. Dark hair touched with silver at the temples. Expensive watch. White coat that looked tailored. Increase the epinephrine, he ordered, his Italian accent refined, authoritative. We're losing him. Dr. Caruso, a younger physician, said nervously, we've already given 3 doses. Then give a 4th. Do you want to explain to the Del Bernardo family why we let Dante die? Stella grabbed a cleaning cloth from the hallway cart, the universal passport of invisibility. She slipped into the room's corner, wiping down already clean surfaces, eyes down, breath shallow. No one looked at her. She was part of the furniture, but she could see everything. The monitors, the medication cart, the chart hanging at the foot of Dante's bed. Her eyes caught on it and her heart stopped. Current medications, propranolol 40 milligrams, BID beta blocker. For anxiety, probably, or blood pressure. Her gaze snapped to Dr. Caruso. He was drawing up a syringe, clear liquid, epinephrine. No, the pharmacology textbook her mother had given her flashed through her mind. Chapter 14, Fatal Drug Interactions. Epinephrine plus beta blockers equals paradoxical bradycardia. Refractory shock, cardiac arrest. It was the first thing they taught you. The deadly combination every nurse learned to avoid. They were killing him. She watched Dr. Caruso approach the IV line, syringe in hand. Watch the other doctors nod approval. Watch Dante's heart rate drop to 42, 40, 38. Her mouth opened. No sound came out. Speak and lose everything. Gabriel loses everything. You get deported. You watched your family die in Haiti and rebuilt from nothing. Don't throw it away. But her mother's voice, clear as daylight. Medicine doesn't care about politics or power, Stella. A body is a body. Truth is truth. Dr. Caruso's thumb pressed the plunger. Stella's hand shot forward, grabbing his wrist. Stop, she heard herself say. You're killing him. Every head in the room turned toward her. Dr. Caruso's wrist twisted free from Stella's grip before she could tighten her hold. His eyes flashed toward her, dark, cold, dismissive, then back to the IV line as if she were a fly that had buzzed past. Security, he said without raising his voice. Wait! Stella stepped back, hands up, heart hammering. Wrong approach, too direct. She looked around wildly and found the head nurse. Sophia, per favore. Nurse Sophia Benedetti stood near the monitors, her face professionally blank. Stella had worked alongside her for 3 years. They weren't friends, but Sophia had always been fair. Decent. Sophia, Stella said quietly, urgently in rapid Italian. Please, check his medications. The chart, there's propranolol, beta blocker. If they give more epinephrine, Stella. Sophia's voice was firm, final. Dr. Caruso knows what he's doing, and this is not your concern. Go back to your work. But he's going to... Basta. Enough. Sophia turned away, adjusting an IV bag as if Stella had simply ceased to exist. Panic clawed up Stella's throat. She scanned the room and spotted a younger doctor near the medication cart. Dr. Marco Ferretti, maybe 30. She'd seen him smile at the cleaning staff before. He had kind eyes. She crossed to him quickly. Dr. Ferretti. He looked up, startled. Per favore, mi ascolti. Please listen to me. The patient. He's on propranolol. It's on his chart. Beta blocker. The epinephrine will... Something flickered in Marco's eyes. Recognition. Understanding. He glanced at the chart, then at Caruso, then back to Stella. She watched belief dawn in his face. and then fear chase it away. His voice dropped to a whisper. I can't. Caruso is the Del Bernardo family's personal physician. If I question him in front of everyone, he'll destroy my career. I have student loans. My mother depends on... He stopped. I'm sorry. He walked away. The monitors began shrieking. He's crashing. Heart rate 35, 30, blood pressure 70/40. Dio mio, we're losing him. Dr. Caruso's voice cut through the chaos like a blade. Another dose of epinephrine now. Stella watched him draw up the syringe, watched him move toward Dante's IV line, watched the heart rate monitor drop to 28, 25, the line on the screen going flatter, flatter. She didn't think. She dropped her cleaning cloth and pushed through the crowd of white coats. Hands grabbed at her. What are you? Get her out. But she was faster. Her fingers closed around Caruso's wrist, hard this time, yanking the syringe away from the IV port. Stop! Her voice tore out of her. He's on propranolol. Epinephrine will stop his heart completely. You're killing him. For one suspended second, the room went silent except for the screaming monitors. Then Dr. Caruso's face transformed. Not surprise, not concern, something colder. Security, he said quietly. Remove this woman immediately. Hands closed around Stella's arms, rough, professional, unyielding. She fought, twisting, her voice rising desperately. Check the chart, please. Beta blockers and epinephrine, it's contraindicated. Every medical student knows. She's clearly having a mental breakdown, Caruso said to the room, his voice dripping with clinical concern. The stress of working here has obviously been too much. Remove her, now. They dragged her backward. On her feet left marks on the polished floor. She kept screaming medical facts, pharmacology, drug interactions, the textbook chapters, anything that might make someone listen. Did the maid just try to stop the doctors? Dio, the nerve, thinks she knows more than Dr. Caruso. Laughter, sharp and cruel. They threw her into the corridor. The door slammed shut. Through the glass panel, Stella watched Dr. Caruso inject the epinephrine into Dante's IV line. The heart monitor flatlined. The alarm became one long, continuous scream. The hospital director's voice was clinical, detached. Effective immediately, you're suspended pending investigation into the incident in VIP Suite 1. Security will escort you out. Stella stood in the administrative office, still in her uniform, hands trembling. Is he alive? That's not your concern. Is he alive? The director's expression flickered with something. Annoyance, maybe pity. Mr. Del Bernardo is in critical condition. Now leave before we call the police. Her phone rang at 11:47 p.m. Gabriel's face lit up the screen. Stella stared at it, her apartment dark except for the glow. She almost didn't answer. Sis, you okay? You sound weird. I'm fine, she lied, her voice hollow. Just tired. Bad shift. I watched a man die because no one would listen to me. I lost my job. So I have 34 euros and you need 3,000 euros and I don't know what to do. Yeah, she said, bad shift. After he hung up, Stella sat in the darkness and made a decision. At 2:17 a.m., she stood outside Hospital San Rafael. The service entrance was locked, but she still had her key card. They hadn't deactivated it yet. Bureaucracy moved slowly, even in emergencies. The card reader beeped green. Medical records was on the 3rd floor, buried deep in the administrative wing. Stella's footsteps echoed too loud in the empty corridors. Every shadow looked like security. Every sound made her flinch. She'd never broken a law in her life, not even in Haiti when breaking laws meant survival. The records room door was locked. She tried her card. Red light, red light, red light. Then green. Someone had forgotten to update this one. Inside, filing cabinets lined the walls like soldiers. She found the D section, Del Bernardo, Dante. VIP patient files were supposed to be digital only, encrypted, but she knew hospitals. Paper backups always existed. Old habits died hard. Her fingers pulled the thick folder, flipped through admission forms, test results, consultation notes. Then she found it. Date, 3 months ago. Medication, propranolol 40 milligrams. BID prescribing. Physician, Dr. Vittorio Caruso. Indication, anxiety. Her breath caught. 3 months. This wasn't recent. This was planned. Caruso had prescribed the beta blocker knowing Dante had severe bee allergies, knowing that any allergic emergency would require epinephrine, knowing the combination would be fatal. He'd set the trap months in advance. A red light blinked in the corner. Security camera. Or she'd been so focused on the files she hadn't noticed. Panic flooded her system. She was on video, breaking into medical records. This was criminal. Her phone came out before thought could stop her. She photographed every page. The prescription, the notes, the dates, evidence, proof. Something that might make someone believe her. The camera kept blinking. She ran. Morning came too fast. Stella sat across from the hospital director and 2 security officials. Their faces were stone. Breaking and entering. Theft of confidential medical records. We're considering pressing charges, Ms. Moreau. I can prove what I said. Stella pushed the phone across the desk, photos pulled up. Look, propranolol prescribed 3 months ago, beta blocker. Dr. Caruso gave him epinephrine knowing it would... Enough. The director's voice was ice. So you're fired, effective immediately. If you don't leave this building in the next 5 minutes, we're calling the police. Please, just look at the medications, We don't investigate our physicians based on accusations from cleaning staff. He stood. You have 5 minutes. Outside, rain poured down. Stella stood on the hospital steps, soaked, jobless, facing possible criminal charges. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered. Stella Moreau? A man's voice, deep, dangerous. Italian accent thick as blood. You tried to save Don Dante's life. Her heart stopped. Who is this? His brother wants to meet you, tonight. Come alone. If you tell anyone, your brother in America becomes a problem we solve. The line went dead. The address led to a private wing Stella had never accessed. 4th floor, East Tower, where the truly powerful went to die or survive away from public eyes. 2 guards frisked her, took her phone, took her keys, took everything except the fear hammering in her chest. One of them opened the door. Dante del Bernardo was awake, propped against white pillows, IV lines threading from both arms, monitors beeping steadily. He looked like death had kissed him and decided to wait. Pale, gaunt, but his eyes, dark, sharp, fully aware, tracked her as she entered. The gold wedding band still gleamed on his finger. Dr. Caruso sat beside the bed, the perfect picture of a concerned friend. His hand rested on Dante's arm. You should rest, Fratello. You've been through hell. Who called her? Dante's voice was rough, barely above a whisper. I did. Don Dante. The guard behind Stella. She tried to save your life. Thought you should know. Caruso stood smoothly. This woman is mentally unstable. She broke into medical records. The hospital has... Vittorio. Dante's hand rose an inch, barely a movement. The room fell silent. Let her speak. Stella's legs felt like water, but she walked to the bedside. Caruso stepped back, his smile tight, his eyes promising murder later. "I don't have much time," Stella said in Italian, then switched to English, words tumbling fast. "You're on propranolol, beta blocker. I saw it on your chart. When they gave you epinephrine for the bee sting, that combination causes paradoxical bradycardia, fatal heart rhythm. They were killing you, maybe accidentally, maybe—" Her eyes flicked to Caruso. Maybe not. "Security footage shows her stealing confidential—" Caruso began. "Why should I believe you?" Dante interrupted, his gaze never leaving Stella's face. "Because I'm the only one whose hands weren't shaking." The words came from somewhere deep. True. When you crashed, everyone panicked. The specialists, the nurses, even him. She nodded toward Caruso. "But I wasn't guessing. I knew exactly what was happening and exactly how to stop it." Dante studied her for a long moment. "Who are you?" "Nobody," Stella said. "Now. But 7 years ago, I was a second-year nursing student in Port-au-Prince, top of my class. Then gang members came to our house. They murdered my parents, shot my sister Marie, killed my brother Jean-Luc. I grabbed Gabriel, my youngest brother, only 9 years old, and we ran. And we made it to Italy with nothing. I worked 3 jobs to keep him in medical school in America so he can become what I'll never be." Something shifted in Dante's expression. Recognition, understanding. "You lost everything," he said quietly, "and rebuilt anyway." "I survived," Stella corrected. "There's a difference." Dante's eyes moved to Caruso, still standing near the door, then back to Stella. "Show me." Her phone was gone, but the guard who'd called her produced it. She opened the photos, prescription records, dates, Caruso's signature, clear as daylight. Dante looked at them for a long time. His face revealed nothing, but his jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. "Vittorio, you prescribed this 3 months ago. Why?" "For your anxiety," Caruso said smoothly. "You remember the panic attacks after the Milano situation. It's standard." "I don't get panic attacks." Dante's voice dropped to something colder than winter. "I never have." Silence crashed through the room like broken glass. "Don Dante!" Caruso stepped forward. "Fermo." "Stop." The single word froze everyone. Dante looked at Stella. "Help me prove it, and I'll help you get your life back." "Deal. Good." He raised his voice, speaking to the guards. "She doesn't leave my sight. Guard her. If anyone tries to hurt her, you answer to me. Capito? Si, Don Dante." Caruso's phone rang. He glanced at the screen and Stella saw it, just for a second, panic flashing across his face before the mask returned. He answered, listened. His expression went carefully blank. "I need to take this," he said. "Hospital emergency." He left the room. Dante's eyes met Stella's. "Or he's going to run." "Or finish what he started," Stella whispered. The door burst open. Not Caruso. A different man in a white coat, wild-eyed, breathless. "Don Dante, Dr. Caruso just accessed the pharmacy. He's taken enough propranolol to kill 20 people." For 3 days, Stella became Caruso's shadow. Dante had kept her close, installing her in a private room adjacent to his suite with a guard at the door. Official story. She was a medical consultant brought in for his recovery. The hospital administration didn't dare question it, not with the Del Bernardo family's lawyers already circling. From her position, Stella watched Caruso work. He was perfect. That was what terrified her most. The way he adjusted Dante's pillows with gentle hands. The childhood stories he told. Summers in Sicily, their first communion, the time they'd stolen their father's cigarettes at 12. The concern etched across his face when Dante's fever spiked. If she hadn't seen the prescription records, hadn't known the truth, she would have believed him herself. "He loves you," she said to Dante on the second night. "Ah, I know." Dante's voice was hollow. "That's what makes this unforgivable." Dr. Marco Ferretti appeared at Stella's door on the third morning, nervous as a rabbit. "I can help," he whispered. "I'm sorry I didn't before, but—" He thrust a folder at her. "Pharmacy records." Stella spread them across her bed. Propranolol prescription 3 months ago, then a second prescription 2 months later, accidentally doubled the dose, then requests for epinephrine to be stocked in Dante's suite, medical orders for routine allergy testing, bringing known allergens near someone with documented severe reactions. The pattern was unmistakable. Caruso had been building toward this for months, slowly, carefully, each piece innocuous on its own. Together, murder dressed as medicine. "Grazie, Marco. Just, please, make sure people know I helped in the end." He left quickly. Cowardice and courage, Stella thought, lived in the same body. That afternoon, Stella cleaned the hallway outside Caruso's office. Old habits. Her hands moved on autopilot. Wipe, spray, wipe, while her ears strained. Caruso's voice filtered through the partially open door. "Tomorrow morning, second attempt. This time she won't interfere." Stella froze. "You're certain?" Another voice. Male. Unfamiliar. Dante's suspicious now. "He suspects me of a mistake, not murder. There's a difference." Caruso's tone was clinical. Cold. Nothing like the warm friend he played at bedside. "When Dante's gone, the family's ours. My father's legacy restored. Everything we were promised. And the maid? She's a complication. But complications can be removed." Stella's cleaning bottle slipped from her trembling fingers. It hit the marble floor with a crash that echoed like a gunshot. Disinfectant pooled across expensive tile. The conversation inside stopped. Footsteps. The door opened fully. Caruso stood there, his expression unreadable. Behind him, she caught a glimpse of the other man, silver-haired, expensive suit, before he moved out of sight. Stella. Caruso's smile was pleasant, professional. "What are you doing here?" "Cleaning." Her voice came out stronger than she felt. "What I always do." He stepped into the hallway, letting the door close behind him. They were alone. The nearest guard was 2 corridors away. Caruso leaned against the wall, casual, conversational. "Funny thing happened today," he said. "I was reviewing some files, curious about you. Where you came from, your background." His eyes locked onto hers. "Your family." Ice flooded Stella's veins. "Gabrielle Moreau," Caruso continued, his voice dropping to something intimate. "Dangerous. 23 years old, pre-med at Columbia University, lives in Carmen Hall, room 512, full scholarship, promising future." He tilted his head. "Would be tragic if something happened. These American cities, so violent. Students get mugged all the time. Sometimes they don't survive." "You—" Stella couldn't breathe. "I have people in New York," Caruso said pleasantly. "People who owe me favors. 1 phone call, Stella. That's all it takes." He pushed off the wall, stepped closer. "So here's what's going to happen. You're going to tell Dante you made a mistake, misread the charts. Stress made you imagine conspiracies that don't exist. Or you're going to disappear back to whatever hole you crawled out of, and your brother gets to live." "He'll kill you," Stella whispered. "He'll try." Caruso's smile didn't reach his eyes. "But Dante's weak, sentimental. He still thinks family means something. I've waited 20 years. I'm not stopping now." He leaned in until his breath touched her face. Stay quiet, stay alive. It's simple. He walked away, footsteps echoing down the corridor. Stella's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number, a photo attached. Her heart stopped. Gabriel, walking across Columbia's campus, backpack, headphones, completely unaware of the man in the dark jacket following 3 steps behind him. The message beneath, tell anyone, and he's dead by morning. Morning rounds came at 8 a.m. sharp. Dr. Caruso entered with an entourage, 3 physicians, 2 nurses, the hospital director himself, all witnesses, all cover for what was about to happen. Stella was in the corner, wiping down surfaces she'd already cleaned twice. Dante had insisted she work his room during medical visits. I trust what she sees, he'd told his guards. Caruso's jaw had tightened, but he couldn't refuse without raising suspicion. Now Caruso stood at Dante's bedside, confidence radiating from him like cologne. Don Dante, your recovery has been slower than expected. Persistent inflammation, elevated white cell count. I'm recommending we increase your epinephrine dosage to help with the allergic cascade. The other doctors nodded, made notes. No one questioned him. Stella's phone burned in her pocket. That photo. Gabriel crossing campus. The man following. The message. Tell anyone and he's dead by morning. Her hands kept moving. Wipe. Spray. Wipe. Her heart hammered so hard she thought everyone could hear it. Caruso drew up the syringe. Clear liquid catching the light. Epinephrine. The same drug that had nearly killed Dante 3 days ago, the same fatal combination. This should help stabilize your system, Caruso said warmly, approaching the IV line. Dante's eyes found Stella across the room, dark, intense, trusting. He didn't say anything, didn't have to. She saw the question there. Is this safe? Stella looked at the syringe, at the IV line, at the chart that still showed propranolol in Dante's active medications. She looked at her phone. Gabriel, her baby brother, the only family she had left. Stay quiet, stay alive, it's simple. Her mother's voice whispered through memory. Medicine doesn't care about politics or power. A body is a body, truth is truth. Caruso's finger touched the IV port. Doctor. Stella's voice cut through the room like a blade. May I see that medication? Every head turned. The shock was palpable. The maid speaking. Again. Caruso's hand froze. Excuse me? Stella stepped forward, her cleaning cloth dropping to the floor. Don Dante. She switched to English, her voice steady despite the terror screaming through her veins. You're about to be given the same drug combination that nearly killed you. That's absurd, Caruso began. You're still on propranolol. Stella spoke directly to Dante, ignoring everyone else. Beta blocker. It's on your chart. Active medications. Epinephrine plus beta blockers causes paradoxical bradycardia. Refractory shock, cardiac arrest is the first contraindication every nurse learns. She turned to Caruso. So why would you give epinephrine to a patient on beta blockers? Every nurse knows that's contraindicated. The word hung there. Nurse, not maid. This woman is... Caruso's composure cracked. Security, get her out of here now! Fermo! Dante's voice wasn't loud, but it stopped everything. He pressed the call button. More guards entered. Nobody moves. His eyes locked on the hospital director. Check my chart, right now, active medications. The director's hands trembled as he pulled up the digital records on the tablet. His face went white. Propranolol. 40 milligrams twice daily. Current prescription. Who prescribed it? Dante asked, his voice deadly calm. Silence. Who prescribed it? The director swallowed. Dr. Vittorio Caruso. And 3 months ago. Caruso stood frozen, syringe still in his hand, the mask finally cracking. His eyes met Stella's across the room, pure hatred. Then his hand moved, not toward the IV line, toward his pocket. Stella saw the flash of metal before anyone else did. Gun! The room exploded into chaos. Dante's guards moved like lightning. 2 of them had Caruso on the ground before the small pistol fully cleared his pocket. The weapon clattered across marble tile. Doctors scattered. Nurses screamed. The syringe rolled under the bed, forgotten. "Don't touch me. I'm a physician," Caruso thrashed, but the guards held him effortlessly. Face pressed to the floor, arms wrenched behind his back. "Explain," Dante's voice came from the bed, weak but absolute. "Now." The hospital director's hands shook as he scrolled through records. Dr. Caruso prescribed propranolol 3 months ago, then doubled the dose 6 weeks later. Then, Dio mio. He ordered allergen testing using substances the patient's file explicitly flags as life-threatening. "A simple oversight," Caruso gasped. "Medical judgment. You can't. I have more." Stella pulled her phone out with trembling fingers, opened the photos, prescription patterns, dates. He's been building toward this for months, every piece designed to look innocent. Together, it's premeditated murder. That proves nothing. I can confirm it. Dr. Marco Ferretti stepped forward, his young face pale but determined. He held a thick folder. "I've been documenting irregularities. Dr. Caruso's prescription patterns, not just with Don Dante. 6 other patients over the last 2 years. 3 died from unexpected complications. All had medication combinations that shouldn't have been prescribed together. All signed off by Dr. Caruso." The room went silent except for the monitor's steady beeping. "Vittorio." Dante's voice cracked the quiet like breaking ice. "Hey, look at me." The guards hauled Caruso to his knees. His perfect mask, 20 years of careful construction, shattered completely. His face twisted with something raw, ugly, ancient. "You don't understand." The words exploded from him. "It should have been me. Your father promised my father. The family would be ours. The consigliere's son, raised alongside you, educated, groomed." His voice broke. "Then you were born, the bastard son from the mistress, and suddenly bloodline mattered more than loyalty." Dante's face remained stone. "My father chose—" "Your father stole what was mine." Caruso's rage poured out like poison. 20 years I've walked behind you, the brilliant godson, the trusted physician, watching you inherit power, wealth, respect, everything that should have been mine by right. Spittle flew from his lips. "I built this plan for 2 years. Perfect. Medical. Untraceable. You were supposed to die in that hospital bed. Killed by the medicine meant to save you. Tragic irony. No one would question it. The Del Bernardo Empire would need new leadership, and who better than the grieving godbrother who tried everything to save you?" Stella felt sick. The calculation, the coldness. "I trusted you with my life," Dante said quietly, each word precise, final, literally. "You never deserved it." Caruso's voice dropped to something venomous. "You were an accident. I was chosen, trained. I earned it. You just existed and took everything." Dante stared at the man he'd called brother for 36 years, the one who'd held his hand at his mother's funeral, who'd celebrated every success, who'd stood as best man at his wedding. 20 years of friendship revealed as 20 years of festering hatred. No rage showed on Dante's face, just devastation, cold, complete. "Vittorio," he said softly. "My brother." Then 3 words in Italian, quiet as death. "Portalo via. Take him away." The guards dragged Caruso toward the door. He fought, screaming, all composure gone. "I built this. I deserve this. You hear me, Dante? I built your empire while you played king." The door slammed shut. Silence rushed back. Dante closed his eyes, didn't open them when he spoke. "Stella, is my brother safe?" She checked her phone. No new messages, no new photos. I don't know. Find out." Then the hospital director's phone rang. He answered, listened. His face went white as chalk. "Dr. Caruso wasn't working alone," he whispered. "The security just found another physician accessing the pharmacy, preparing the same drug combination." He looked at Dante. "For your wife." The conspiracy unraveled in 48 hours. Dr. Caruso's accomplice, a junior physician drowning in gambling debts, confessed everything. The plan to eliminate Dante's wife, the promise of money and position in the new regime. 6 previous victims across 2 years, all dismissed as medical complications, all murdered. Stella sat in the hospital director's office, no longer in uniform. He couldn't meet her eyes. "We failed you, Ms. Moreau. Completely. Inexcusably." His voice was ash. "Your position is reinstated, full back pay, and if there's anything else—" "There is," Stella said. "I want a formal apology, in writing, acknowledging that you dismissed medical expertise because of who was delivering it. And I want protocol changes. Anyone, nurse, technician, custodian, who raises a safety concern gets heard. Not dismissed, heard. Done. Want all of it." Italian authorities arrested Caruso that afternoon. Attempted murder, conspiracy, 6 counts of medical homicide. The investigation would take months, the trial, years. But he'd never practice medicine again, never walk free again. Gabriel was safe. Dante's people in New York had intercepted Caruso's contact before anything happened. Her brother didn't even know he'd been in danger. When Dante was strong enough for visitors, Stella was the first he requested. She found him sitting up, color returning to his face. The monitors beeped steady, strong. He was gonna live. "You saved my life when no one else could," he said simply. "I just saw what was there." Stella sat in the chair beside his bed. "Medicine doesn't care about titles or power. A body is a body. Truth is truth." "What do you want?" Dante asked. "Name it." "Oh, anything." Stella had thought about this, 3 sleepless nights thinking about it. "I want to finish what I started. I want to be a nurse again, a real one, with credentials that can't be dismissed." "Then you will be." Dante's voice carried absolute certainty. The best. 3 weeks later, Stella's Star Foundation was established. Full scholarships for displaced medical professionals, refugees, immigrants, anyone whose expertise had been erased by circumstance. The press coverage was international. Maid saves Mafia Boss. Invisible woman stops medical murder. The University of Rome offered a full scholarship before she even applied. 3 years later, Stella Moreau walked across the graduation stage in a white coat that finally belonged to her. Bachelor of Science in Nursing, summa cum laude, specialist in medication safety. Gabriel was in the audience, now a medical student in Rome. They were together finally, building what their mother and Marie and Jean-Luc would have wanted. Dante sat 3 rows back. 3 years of slow-building trust, of learning each other, of late-night conversations about trauma and survival and what it meant to be seen. Something deeper than gratitude had grown between them. Neither had rushed it. Both knew it was inevitable. Stella's thesis, The invisible experts, medication errors, and healthcare hierarchies was already being cited in medical journals. She returned to Hospital San Rafael as Nurse Moreau, Director of Patient Safety. Dr. Marco Ferretti, now an attending physician, met her on the first day. "I should have listened sooner," he said quietly. "I won't make that mistake again." The Foundation's official launch came in December, Voices Without Borders. The first scholarship recipient was a Syrian refugee who'd been a trauma surgeon in Damascus. Now he cleaned floors in Rome. Stella saw herself in him, 7 years ago, invisible, brilliant, waiting. Her speech echoed through the grand hall. Knowledge doesn't disappear when you change countries. Expertise doesn't vanish when you change uniforms. We are here. We have always been here. All you have to do is listen. Afterward, Dante found her on the terrace overlooking Rome, city lights glittering like stars. He'd been patient, waiting for her to be ready. "Ready to be seen?" he asked softly. "Truly seen? Not as the woman I owe. As the woman I—" He paused. "One as the woman I've been falling for since the moment you grabbed my doctor's wrist and refused to let him kill me." Stella turned to face him, took his hand. "I've been ready." He kissed her as snow began to fall over Rome. Her phone buzzed. She almost ignored it. Then she saw the message. "Urgent. Hospital San Rafael. VIP patient. 8 specialists can't diagnose. Patient asking for you specifically. Please come immediately." She showed Dante. His expression shifted. "You have to go." "Our moment will wait," he smiled. "Someone needs the invisible expert." Stella looked at the message again. Another impossible case, another life in the balance. She was ready. But nothing could have prepared her for whose name appeared in the final line. Patient. Cardinal Alessandro Montini, the Pope's personal physician. "He says he's being poisoned, and only you will believe him."